You know that feeling when something just doesn't sit right, like the air feels heavier and you can't explain why? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt the day I found the door in my basement. I've lived in this house for about 5 years. It's old, creaky, and full of quirks, but it's home. The basement, though, that's a different story. It's damp, cold, and gives off major something bad happened here vibes. I'd go down there for laundry and bolt back up as fast as I could. One night I heard this loud thud coming from below. It was 2 a.m., and I was home alone. My first thought, raccoon? Maybe? I grabbed a flashlight and reluctantly headed down. But when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I saw something I'd never noticed before. There was a small, square door tucked into the far wall, half covered by an old, dusty shelf. I swear to you, I'd never seen it before. I moved the shelf aside, and my heart started racing. The door was padlocked, but the lock was ancient, rusty, and barely holding on. At this point, any normal person would have walked away. But I was curious, or maybe just stupid. I grabbed a hammer and smashed the lock open. The door creaked as I pulled it open, and behind it was this pitch black tunnel. It smelled like dirt and something rotten. My flashlight barely lit the way, but I could see that the tunnel led down even further, like a staircase carved into the earth. Against every instinct screaming at me to stop, I stepped inside. The deeper I went, the weirder it got. The walls were lined with scratches, like claw marks, and there were these faint whispers, like a bunch of people whispering at once, but I couldn't make out the words. I told myself it was just the wind, but I knew better. At the bottom of the staircase, the tunnel opened into this room. It was circular, with symbols carved into the dirt walls. In the middle was a wooden chair, and on it sat a doll. This wasn't just any doll. Its eyes were sewn shut, its face was cracked, and its mouth was stitched into this terrifying grin. The worst part? There was fresh dirt on the chair, like someone had been there recently. That's when I heard it. The soft sound of footsteps behind me. I whipped around, but the tunnel was empty, or so I thought. My flashlight flickered, and for a split second I saw something. It was pale, with sunken eyes and a grin that looked exactly like the doll's. I didn't stick around to find out more. I sprinted back up the stairs, through the basement, and slammed the door shut. For weeks after, I kept hearing noises, scratching, footsteps, and those whispers. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I called a contractor to seal up the basement entirely. But here's the thing. When he went to inspect it, the door wasn't there. I'm not saying I imagined it. I know what I saw. And sometimes, late at night, I swear I can still hear the whispers calling me back to that room.